Whether we know them or not doesn't matter, but their work again is contributing for the upliftment of the consciousness of jivas. Whoever they are, some know it very knowingly, consciously. Many do it just out of some bhakti, sharanagati, devotion. Whoever they are, every one of them deserve our salutations. Our best. Saluting all of them. Also salute everyone who is helping us in one way or the other. Spiritual progress. Some appear to be helping us in a positive manner. Some appear to be helping us in a negative manner. But all that which takes us to spirituality is good, and whoever are contributing in this regard are the ones to whom we have to express our gratitude. Let us salute our Shruti Mata in the form of Upanishads, Puranas, Itihasas, as well as our Smriti Granthas, Prakarana Granthas. Welcome salutations to every one of you, the sadhaka in you, the jignasu in you, the mokshu in you, the one who wants to be the yogi or bhakta, and who is a deserving disciple for the simplicity and humbleness, also the sevaka in us. Today's 1 minute thought before we take up Upanishadic Adhyanam is key as we study pure Vedanta, where we say we are the pure Brahman reality, conditioned by the Upadhis, suffer as Jiva. Therefore, we have to transcend the Upadhis. This truth remains the same all the time. No compromise regarding that thought. And yet, for a long time, for a lots of journey in spirituality, what helps us are these upadhis themselves. Therefore, as much we have to detach from the negative influence of upadhis when they make us samsarin, so much important for us to make the use of the same upadhis only for our evolution. Everything in the world gives us negative if we wrongly contact, gives us positive if we rightly contact, gives us divinity if you are able to see in it. All the three are there simultaneously in everything. It is our discretion. How? It's our maturity, how we understand them, contact them, and eke out what we can. So, the upadhis of Deha, Deha, Shariram, Deha Madhyam, Khalu, Dharma Sadhanam, it is said. Therefore, this Sharira, though when it asks for the bhoga through Pratibhaksha Bhavana, we will detach from Deha Tadatmya. But staying in the Deha only, we do the Guru Seva, the Shravanam, the Sadhana, ityadi. Therefore, that Deha also has to be minded, taking it as a very important instrument, blessings, sacred, given by the divine only. As much pampering it is wrong, so much knowing that it is beautiful gift of Bhagavan, especially the Manushya Deha. That has to be very respectfully, taken care. In taking care of it through various food or rest or exercise, to the extent which is in our hands. The prarabdha aspect is not in our hands, but then purushartha aspect is always with us. Mindful about our sharira, trying to do such things by which it is well well maintained and is cooperating with us in our sadhanas. What it needs is a good food, a good rest, and necessarily some flexibility, some exercises. But all in all, being aware of it to the extent required, see to it that it is properly maintained. Not the outer shape of the body or the coloring painting. We are talking about the outer as well as only inner. Total sharira should be parapa. No part of the body should suffer. Anywhere there is a suffering, the whole body is in a dull state. We can't do seva, we can't do sadhana, etc. Prarabdha aspect is there in it, grace aspect is there in it. More than those two, our own conscious effort also. We should study. This is given to us, no? We are using it, we are in it for such a long time. Then is it not appropriate to know it, love it, as well as protect, take care of it? That was the meaning of Veshema Deva Hitam Yadayoho. You know, Yadayoho, long life. Pashyema Sharadashatam, Jivema Sharadashatam, Nandama Sharadashatam, Modama Sharadashatam, Prabhavama Sharadashatam. All these are Veda mantras. 100 years we live hale, hearty, healthily, physically first, then other aspects of the life. है ना? वैराग्य से देह तादात्म्य को दूर रखना भी एक साधना. बट वो करने के लिए भी यू हैव टू बी इन द देह ओनली. It has to be in good shape, condition, health, as much as we can. See, balancing is the art in Vedanta. Totally neglecting body, many of us do. Totally pampering the body, all of us do. What is to be done is neither pamper it nor torture it. Know it, love it, take care of it. See to it that it is helping us in sadhana. As an asset, not a liability, it is troubling us. Like any of our vehicles, maintain them such a manner that they help us to take to the destination. Every part of the body is sacred. So the related exercises, foods, with some study, understanding, if we can manage it, it is very good. Thoda sa. Why should we suffer even at physical level? And hold on to that suffering. That becomes a big excuse for not doing any other adhyatmic sadhana. Somehow that art we should learn to manage Stula Sharir in such a manner that it is not a liability. It is not too much bothering us. If someone has a terrible prarabdha of whole suffering only throughout life, that we can't help it. Even then, there is something which can be done by which some state of easiness of the body can be mastered. पूरा नहीं है तो थोड़ा. Nobody's body is without problems. That is always there. Yet, there are some great intellectuals, yogins, they have managed their sharira also. They are careful about it. Isn't it? And from within only it goes on telling us what it requires. The medication, the food, the rest, even the work or exercise. उस आवाज को अंदर का सुनने का हमें आदत बनाकर we should be answering it. More important than this there is our own inner prana shakti. As we are studying in Yoga Darshana, the energy vitality is also have to be optimum. Food also is a part of it. Pranayama they are also part of it. Moderate minimum movement of the sharira they also part of it. Neither too much, then we are tired. Not at all moving, then another type of fatigueness comes. So prana shakti optimum. So that what works we have to do throughout the day, sadhanas we have to do, sevas we have to do, sufficient quantum of energy is always there in us. It's also our responsibility. Human life is using the intellect in a best manner and living a very dynamic, joyful life. If this clicks to us, there's nothing to be worried about. Equipments are given, goal is put inside. Resources are given for managing, mastering, using these equipments. अब एक करते हुए जो दिखाया गया दर्शाया गया लक्ष्य के प्रति चलते रहना joyfully jolly. There is nothing to be serious or worried about anything unnecessarily. But managing, mastering, using is always required. So too our third equipment of the mind, which is the most neglected one, most अनाथ के द्वारा उसको हम छोड़ देते. And when a child is left as a anatha, you know, orphan, then how he becomes? He will become like an orphan only, no? Uncared, uncontrolled, unprotected. And then he becomes very gunda type, ruthless, and he will not have value for any emotions and all. Our mind also, like anatha, we just left it. Very terrible mistake it has been. Mind is the most dearest child. Therefore, he should be nurtured, nourished, should be fully taken care and protected. And we should have absolute alertness about what thought projections the mind fellow is doing, how with a nice discussion with him, we should stop if it is negative. And if the mind gives a good idea, suggestion, congratulate that mind, thank that mind, see to it that the positive nurturement, nourishment is given to this mind very frequently and avoid sending it to or if it wants to go to such place where there will be later on losses or regrets or sufferings. अपना मन है. How erratically we misuse our mind throughout the day. Inside also no control on its imaginations. Either bhoga adi vritti always come or the anger or attachments with the people around will come. Both are wrong in the mind. It should be trained properly how to deal with objects as well as people in a cordial manner. It need not be allowed. Just like we allow the mind for everything that is happening in the world on the name of I must have the information. But as a spiritual seeker, that mind when it is exposed like that gets so much disturbed that we cannot use it for our sadhana. Therefore, that rationing of the mind, of not allowing it to be exposed to everything, not required. Inside also, how can it be given that much freedom to just go on gathering all the attachments, raga, dveshas, like so many things all the time? These are all the internal diseases of the mind. The external are again to the things and beings, undue importance given, going and indulging in them. है ना. Everything need not spiritually spiritual person के लिए he need not be concerned worried about everything to the extent of disturbing the mind. हाँ, if you have mastered the mind to use it, then be aware wherever there are problems, show some sympathy, but with the mind under our control. show some concern, extend some prayers, feel for the good of those people. अच्छी बात. But then if it creates chaos in the mind, impressions in the mind, and disturbs, agitates, which in turn doesn't allow us to do our main job of spiritual study and sadhana, there we have to be careful. And like the situation of the nation, it is like that. It should be better. Know it and pray. There are international problems, whether it is Russia, Ukraine, or Israel, Palestine, or Iran, Iraq, or the China and Taiwan, or India, China, India, Pakistan. It's gone endlessly. And the NATO's and the Russia's. Then a prayer there. Let all of them get the akal and live like a global family. All human beings are one family. Though because of nation, culture, for some other reasons also, we may be divided in Vyavahara. But is not the whole earth is our common mother? Is not our son is our common father, as you can imagine? Nor are we not their children common? So are we not brethren to each other? Therefore, let us be together. In that way, we can send thoughts where the life is being threatened or troubled by anyone. And that sympathy there can be shown, isn't it? That much enough. But that sympathy should not go beyond control. And those impressions coming in the mind and becoming a good feeding and data for the mind to work on with its own imaginations. It is wrong. लेकिन एक न्यूज को देखा और उसके बारे में सोचते रहे. Better than that is not seeing it if you don't have the control over mind. Like that, so many other aspects. Mind has to be minded, valued, protected, taken care. It is our instrument. It is the instrument which alone is the cause both for the bondage, unused, misused, wrongly used. Alone is the cause for moksha when it is rightly employed. So it has to be minded. Then the last one is our intellect also. It can't be allowed to get arrested. It has to be cleaned up, sharpened, regularly used. And when it gets tired, it can be given good rest also. Use of intellect is, in the spiritual parlance, nitya nitya, satya satya, conscious thinking for some time every day, which is real, which is unreal. That subtle thinking of intellect, if it can recognize the real and the unreal, lot of consolation, solace will come to us from the sufferings because of the unreal. Intellect's job it is. Intellect, if it is correctly employed, can be a great tool for eliminating lot of dukkha in life. बुद्धि इसलिए कहते हैं ना पंडिताः नानुशोचन्ते. समझदार बंदे को दुख कम होते हैं. In the spiritual balance, satya satyadi vicharan. In the world, dharma dharma, papa punya, that vichara karke, intellect should always be alert with the correct knowledge, guiding other faculties to do what is correct. That training should be given intellect. It should not again be allowed to be misguided by the people who create biasnesses, who create partialities, who create unnecessary value and importance to materialism, worldliness, or the quarrels, etc. Yes, लड़ना ही है, उसको मारना ही है, निर्णय कर लो. ऐसे लोग कहते हैं बुद्धि में. नो, मिसगाइडेंस टू द बुद्धि गिवन. उससे बचाते रहना हमारे बुद्धि को. तो बचाना, प्यार करना, उसको अच्छी तरह तैयार करना, यूज करना. Whether it is Sharira, whether it is Prana, whether it is Mana, whether it is our Buddhi. They are all the ones in which we have to throughout life engage. First managing them, then through them. Because of the inevitability, we contact things and beings, but be careful about the goal for which we have come here. For that only all these are used. We are always in the remembrance of that goal, employing these faculties for that, in between as a part of the game. See, it's like this. We have to evolve. The divine is there. Divine provides opportunities to evolve. He knows. We have to remember, accept that universal intelligence. Okay. Otherwise, there is no reason who is where at what time, etc. And we have to have faith in the goodness of that universal intelligence that it is working for the welfare, evolution of all. Then that totality puts us at different places for different works for us to be done for our own evolution. If we can become alert of it and are able to read or study, where are we placed, what is expected out of us, and what is its role in the total evolution of me. If that maturity comes, and we are accordingly molding ourselves and fitting ourselves in those situations and using all faculties for that work and ensuring our own evolution, we are truly matured. Sometimes Bhagavan keeps us fully busy in the family activities. So that means Lord wants us to clear out those duties and debts there. So that also part of sadhana. It should be smelt by us that we are put here, so this is our work, but this work is not to bind me to samsara. This is also part of sadhana. Sometimes the Lord puts us so busy in our professions. हर एक की जिंदगी में 10-20 साल होता है. So that means he wants us to financially secured through the profession serve the world. आया समझ में उस समय वही साधना है. Sometimes Lord keeps us very busy with our friends and relations, some organizations, isn't it? Seva projects, conscious. Oh, okay, this is the period I am given this work. Do it. Sometimes Lord puts us very busy in some spiritual activities, either serving the organizations or a temple or a guru. That also a part of evolution. God has put us there to do that diligently. Sometimes we are engaged like this now, last 3 years. Daily study. It will not be permanent. उसका मौका जब तक होगा प्रारब्धम जरूरत तब तक चलेगा. वो दौरा खत्म. It will be ending. Another time we are left all alone. What it indicates is turn within, look within, evolve in your true spiritual inner unfoldment, using all the knowledge gained from the gurus and shastras. When we are put in that situation, हमें उसको करना है. Again in one life, Lord puts us in some social seva. चलो ये भी उन्हीं की सेवा है. That's why in the world, as we have come for our evolution and contribution to total world, every being in their own place are evolving themselves and contributing to the total world. For everyone, especially the human, all others also, human beings, we have to value, respect them. It's a higher spiritual divine vision. Even a so-called criminal also has something to contribute while he is evolving. Doesn't mean we support the criminality. No, we should punish them. But at the higher understanding, because nothing happens without reason in this world. And at the same time, what is happening? Not attributing everything to prarabdha. We should know that many things are being done for creating future prarabdha as present Purushartha, good or bad. Like these wars are happening. You can't talk to them as the Prarabdhas. They are the Purusharthas. Those Rakshasas are doing such a bad thing which will lead in the future for the negative Prarabdha. So they have to be condemned. And we have to, this is a very subtle thing. It doesn't click easily. You have to discriminate between what is Purushartha, what is Prarabdha. Now Israel attacking Gaza. ये प्रारब्ध है कि पुरुषार्थ? In any day, making lakhs of people homeless, destroying their towns to such an extent that they can't be rebuilt at all. No, you can't call it as prarabdha. Little sensitive here. It is a crime. It is a purushartha negative. Therefore, we should be very clear about these things. Like China, Pakistan, unnecessarily troubling. You can't keep quiet saying that it is prarabdha. These are stupid purushartha of them which has to be countered. Isn't it? थोड़ा सा हमको मन में मेच्योरिटी आता है when we become purer through our study and our upasanas and desire to be purer, then these all will click shortly. Upadhis are sacred. Value, respect them, make use of them also. It's a part of the total game, isn't it? All devatas also, you can see them well made up, well decorated, well ornamented. Huh? What it shows is they were mindful. उपाधियां ही हमको फिर साधना में भी मदद करते. That doesn't mean again we become slave to them. Then when we say we detach from them, we don't be too much inimical to them to torture them. Pamper and torture, ये दोनों हम करते हैं. Both are wrong. We should balance. Whether it is children or servants or subordinates or the faculties. Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rushibhyo Mahadbhyo नमो गुरुभ्यः. ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्. ओम विदिताखिल शास्त्र सुधा जलधे महितोपनिषद कथितार्थ निधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भव शंकर देशिक मे शरणम्. ओम ब्रह्मानंदं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतम् भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः. अथ ऐतरेय उपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः. अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थान जागरण विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगति विश्व एकता शांति कल्याण पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थम् अस्मिन् धर्म संस्थापन कार्य निष्ठित अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां दिग्विजयार्थां निरंतर हर अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन मध्ये ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. ओम मनस्तावदमशान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभाभाते तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम्. अथ श्रीऋग्वेदान्तर्गत ऐतरेयारण्यकान्तर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषद् शान्तिमन्त्रः. ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य माणेस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्ददामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्ववतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः पारायणं प्रथमोऽध्यायः प्रथमः खण्डः फस्ट् खण्ड चाण्टिङ्ग् ॐ आत्मा वा इदमेक एवाग्र आसीत् नान्यत् किञ्चन मिषत् स ईक्षतलोकान्नुसृजायिते स इमान् लोकानसृजत अम्भो मरीचिर्मरम् आवः अधः अम्बः परेण दिवं द्यौः प्रतिष्ठा अन्तरिक्षं मरीचयः पृथिवीमरः यादस्तादुता आपः स ईक्षते मेनुलोकाः सृजा लोकपालान्नुसृजायिते सः अद्भ्यः एव पुरुषं समुद्धृत्य अमूर्च्छयत तमभ्यदपद तस्याभिदप्तस्य मुखं निरवेद्यत यथा अण्डं मुखाद्वाक् वाचः अग्निः नासिके निरभिद्येतां नासिकाभ्यां प्राणः प्राणाद्वायुः अक्षिणी निरभिद्येताम् अक्षिभ्यां चक्षुः चक्षुषः आदित्यः कर्णौ निरभिद्येतां कर्णाभ्यां श्रोत्रं श्रोत्रात् दिशः त्वं निरभिद्यत त्वचो लोमानि लोमभ्य ओषधिवनस्पतयः हृदयन्निरभिद्यत हृदयाद् मनः मनसः चन्द्रमाः नाभिर्निरभिद्यत नाभ्यामपानः अपानान् मृत्युः शिश्नं निरभिद्यत शिश्नाद् रेतः रेतस आपः ॐ शान्तिः 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 Friends, we are into the study Aitareya Upanishad. Third chapter we have entered, the meeting of all Adhunatana, Jignasus, Mumukshus and Vairagins, which Atman has to be identified with for the realization moksha through Upasana. Here the Upasana is coming nearer and nearer in identity, finally getting totally identified with. It's not a physical thing that Upasana means paas mein jaakar baitho. That type of meaning cannot be taken here. Upasana is going nearer and nearer. How much near or far it is not said. Therefore, here Upasya means becoming one only. So, we have seen first mantra exhaustively. Ki, Narayana, there is the Deha Atma, there is an Indriya Atma, there is Mano Atma. Deha Atma cannot be the Atman. Indriya Atma also cannot be. Now the Mano Atma. Mano Atma also being of various emotions, etc. That can also be not the self. Up to this, the second mantra is given. Ki kena punaropalabhyate iti uchyate yena va chakshurбhutena rupam vashyate. In this shloka, the discussion regarding the mind, which is becoming chakshu and seeing the forms, becoming ears and listening to sounds, becoming nostrils and smelling the objects outer, then becoming the speaking organ, mouth, then talking the speech of names, etc. And it is the becoming the Jnanendriya called as rasana and doing the taste of the swadu aswadu. So by this the Indriya Atmata is rejected, Mano Atmata is brought. Like that Aitareya, each of the kosha we transcended. Now even the mana also not independent. It is dependent on something else. That something only. Expressing as the mind and the variety of functions of the mind. Okay, here what we have to be careful about is, if that which is expressing as mind and through the mind as all its functions is devalued or valued less, more than the mind, values less than the mind, and mind is valued more, then we are identified with the mind. Like, what are all indriyas? Just now we saw mind only is functioning as indriyas. But if the indriyas become more predominant, valuable than that of mind, then we have become slave to the indriyas. That is not a correct proposition. But indriyas should function according to the mind, not independently. In the same way, there is someone beyond who is working with the mind in various functions. This mind and its functioning should not become predominantly so much important that the one because of whom and for whom it is working is neglected. Isn't it? Like when I'm working in an office, I must be conscious that I'm working in this office for its own improvement, development with the skills that have. In turn, they are giving me salary, livelihood. At the time of taking salary and using it for livelihood, that is important, no doubt. But how can we anytime forget the company which has given us the work, or the owner or boss who has employed us? Whenever we forget, then we become selfish and we do wrong things. Like all government employees, state or central. The state or the nation is giving them. So they can't do anything which is troubling the interests of the nation. That thought should be there always in the mind. So to those who are non-government servants, for all of them also, the nation is giving them shelter, support, livelihood. So they also have to have continuously the identity with the nation, and in the interest of nation, required things they have to do, not those which tarnish the name of nation or trouble the nation. Examples. Little higher you go, it is the universe in which we are a part. Therefore, we owe a lot to the universe. Therefore, though our approach with our faculties is very small, that in a universal manner, big way, we may not be able to do substantial, big things, yet knowing that we are there because of universe total, and whatever we do, small, little, good or bad, it affects the entire universe. With this awareness, when I behave in my own dharma ityadi, being wherever I am contributing to the universal good positively. If I do negative, then I am disturbing the rhythm of the universe. This awareness is called spirituality. Even the universe is standing is because of pure Brahman. Therefore, all our activities finally have to be aimed at that Parabrahman. For Parabrahman, there is nothing that we do for him. Our doing for him is to realize. So keep that as a goal that has to be realized. So now, in this mantra number 2, Hridaya, from the Hridaya, the mana, and variety of the emotions of the mana are told. Only to say that they all, through the mana, belong to Paramatma only. Okay, so that Paramatma, who through the mana expressing as its various functionalities, that should be considered as an Atman. We have to do his upasana, and the upasana there is to go nearer and nearer to it in our identity. Finally, identify with that. When the identification comes, that's what said here in the last sentence, Prajnanam Brahma. The Prajnanam is Atman, the Atman is not one per head, it's everywhere the same, therefore everywhere same is called as Brahman. Therefore the Prajnana Atma eva Brahma. Not the Prajnana of the Hiranyagarbha, who knows everything through the upadhis. That also jnanam, prajnanam. But the Brahma prajnana is pure consciousness. There is no knower knowing, known difference. So let us chant this mantra and see what our Karikaka Bhagavan Shankara Bhashyakara is guiding us in. Hmm. किं पुनः तद एव एकम अनेकधा भिन्नं करणम इति उच्यते. What is that one karana which is becoming the ear at the ears level, eyes at the eye level, इंद्रिय बनकर वही येन वा वाग् भूतेन वाचं व्याकरोति चक्षुर्भूत्वा दृश्यं पश्यति was said no in the earlier mantra. So चक्षुर्भूतेन रूपं पश्यति, then श्रोत्रभूतेन शब्दं शृणोति. One only becoming various indriyas and function and perceiving various indriya vastus. Who is that one is touched in this shloka number 2. न किं पुनः तत् एव एकम् अनेकदा भिन्नं करणं तद एकमेव भिन्न करणम अनेकदा भिन्नं किं तत्. What that one instrument which is dividing itself to vary. Remember, today same thought will be discussed in Yoga Darshanam also as a falashruti to the pranayam sadhana to some extent. Then pratyahar के समय में ये विषय आएगा. That all the indriyas are expression of the mana only. Remember that important thought. That mana, from where it is sourced to, that also included in this next mantra. It's very subtle. We have to try to grasp it. Let's see. पाठ करो एक बार. यदेतद् हृदयं मनः च एतत् संज्ञानम् आज्ञानं विज्ञानं प्रज्ञानं मेधा दृष्टिः धृतिः मतिः मनीषा ज्योतिः स्मृतिः संकल्पः क्रतुः असुः कामः वशः इति सर्वाणि एव एतानि प्रज्ञानस्य नामधेयानि भवन्ति. Once more. यदेतद् हृदयं मनः च एतत् संज्ञानम् आज्ञानं विज्ञानं प्रज्ञानं मेधा दृष्टिः धृतिः मतिः मनीषा ज्योतिः स्मृतिः संकल्पः क्रतुः असुः कामः वशः इति सर्वाणि एव एतानि प्रज्ञानस्य नामधेयानि भवन्ति. नारायण. These all actually are the modifications of the mind. But where from the mind is coming, to that they should belong, because mind itself is not independent. So the mind is there only when there is the prajnana. Okay? The prajnana expressing as mind, mind expressing as so many thoughts, emotions, values. Therefore, all of them are prajnanasya namadheyani bhavanti. Like the table or chair or the stool, they're all the names of the plastic only. है कि नहीं? प्रज्ञान का ही नामधेय, प्लास्टिक का ही नामधेय है. You call the earring or the nose ring or bracelet, bangle, necklace. किसके नाम है वो? They are the names of ornaments, we say. Ornament is intermediate stage. The ornament here is the mind. But they are not the names of ornaments. No? Finally, they are the names of gold only. Because without the gold, the ornamentation, the intermediate thing cannot be. So all these are the emotions of the mind, ornaments. But the ornaments cannot be without gold. Therefore, all the ornaments belong to the gold only. Earring, all of names. Same way. Without consciousness, the mana cannot be. Therefore, all these belong to the Brahma only, Paramatma only. He only through the mind is named like all of that. So, by this process directly, all those things are expression of consciousness. As a kaikar, in between mind is being rejected. Directly said कि ये प्रज्ञानस्य नामधेय. Finally, Paramatma only. To him only they all belong. That is the one who is free from all these नामधेय. We have to modify, identify with. उसका हमें उपासना करना है. That will be a conclusion of the discussion. तो यदि एतत् हृदयं मनः च एतत् देखो. Is where if we can really ponder over and discover the truths for ourselves, which is of immense help in spirituality. That which is there in the heart as the self alone is in its dichotomized stage is appearing as mind. And the mind, because of some reasons, getting influenced, expressing as the thoughts or the vrittis modification. All these said in the list. Sanjnanam, Vijnanam, Prajnanam, Ajnanam, Medha, Manisha, all of them are the modifications of that mind only, which is nothing but the Hridaya existing Paramatma. So actually, as we proceed in the spirituality, understanding में, sadhana में, maturity में, there is nothing rejected or denied. Everything is pure conscious Paramatma. Nothing called as matter in this world. Spirit alone is there. Spirit matterized is called creation. Matter spiritualizing is realization at the highest level. That's where staying Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, it is said. Is Brahman Jada or Chaitanya? It is Shuddha Chaitanya. Therefore, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma means everything is pure conscious Brahman. There is not thing called inert or inertia or matter. Everything is pure consciousness. That is pure Parabrahman. Everything, what we do, that is what we are trained in our Hinduism to do. Namaskar to everything, taking everything as divine. That is a fact. There is nothing undivine. It is the faculties, be attentive, which are given the freedom with which they are manipulating to present the divine in the form of this Jadatmaka Jagat. It has a purpose of a Leela, a Vyavahara, a sadhana. But once one transcends all these sadhanas, Vyavaharas, Leelas, Upadhis, everything is one and this is without second pure Brahman alone, which has no birth, no death, and all of that things. Okay, now let us study Bhashyakara's guidance. What he says is Yad Uktam Purastat Prajanam Retaha Hrudayam Hrudayasya Retaha Manaha Manasah Srushtaha Apaha Cha Varunaha Cha हृदयात् मनः मनसः चंद्रमाः तद एव एतत् हृदयं मनः च एकमेव तत् अनेकधा. Just we chanted हृदयात् मनसः मनसः चंद्रमाः. In today's Parayanam, that topic was alone there. So yaduktam purastat, what was said earlier in this particular Upanishad, first chapter, first Khanda, before this also in the earlier chapters in the Veda. Aitareya Aranyaka. What is said there? Uh, Prajanam Retaha. Reta means essence. Hrudayam. Then Hrudayasya Retaha Manaha. Prajanam Retaha means the essence of all the prajas which have to come up in the future. That is the Hrudayam. Then from the Hridaya, before the prajas came out, the retaha sara of that hridayam is called manaha. From the manaha are created what? Apahacha, varunahacha. Apaha, the waters, the gross matter, varunaha, the adhisthana devata. Then this all concludingly says Hrudayat Manaha, and no, further says Hrudayat Manaha, thus Manasaha Adhisthana Devata Chandramaha. So by this giving relation between three things, Hrudayamu, Manaha and Chandramaha, and the Sara Bhuta of all prajas at the totality level. What is said is कि तदेव एतद् हृदयं मनः च एकमेव तत् अनेकधा. So the mana is nothing but the hridaya, which is nothing but the sara of all the beings which are to come. Beyond this, pure consciousness alone. In fact, every individual, rupa, nama, deha, sharira, all of that is nothing but the mana only. Mana is nothing but its essence. The hridayam, yaha kehte hain. That hridayam is the thing expressed as expression of the essence of all प्रजास put together. Means आने वाले सृष्टि को निर्माण करने के लिए जो सार है, that itself is hridayam. From the hridaya mana, with the mana only the apa, varuna ityadi are created. From that only the praja. So tadeva etad hridayam manah cha ekameva tad anekadha. Then this is the manah, which is in other language called as antakarana. You know, तद एतेन अंतःकरणेन एकेन चक्षुभूतेन रूपम पश्यति. है ना? This one अंतःकरण, before which it was the hridayam, which for which it was the sara of the entire praja. The sara is called here as the reta, the bija. So Paramatma is there, is avyakta prakriti is there. In that bija rupena, the entire universe of names and forms are there. From that Ishvara, the Hiranyagarbha sthiti. They are also unmanifest, but the differentiation is there at the subtle level. That is called the Hridaya Sthai. From there, one aspect here you explained in the sequence, in the context is Manaha. Now, this Mana only, what we have to understand, which is called also as Antakaranam. एतेन अंतःकरणेन एकेन चक्षुभूतेन रूपम पश्यति. Isn't it? In you, in me, in others, in society, totality, कहीं भी देखो, mana only become chakshu and it is able to see the rupam pashyati. Therefore, shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha are seen by the indriyas. As indriya, the mana alone is becoming. Mana is nothing but the hridayam only. More subtler aspect than the mind. And that has come from the avyakta prakriti. It ever belongs to the pure conscious Paramatma. So that way, tracing back from where even this expression is there. That finermost one, which you won't have, which doesn't have something beyond it. That should be the Atman on which we have to do upasana and get identified for liberation. This is what is the inquiry of all these people seated and discussing. All the adhuratana, mumukshus, jignasus, viragins. So, rupam pashyati, shrotra bhutena shrunoti, all that we know. Now, the mind only becoming the ear and listening. Grana bhutena jighrati, becoming smell, the mind only, the organ of smelling. The grana indriya, it is doing the granam, jighrati, smelling the things world may. Then vag bhutena vadati, jihva bhutena, it becomes a jihva, vagendriya and vadati. Rasayati sveneva vikalpana rupena. Okay. sorry, Jihva Bhutena Rasayati. Okay. The whole thought is now Svena eva Vikalpana Rupena Manasa Vikalpayati. Hrudaya Rupena Adhyavasyati. Isn't it? Little subtler thing is said. The Adhyavasaya, the Nishchaya, that this is smell and this smell is this. This is sound, this sound is this sound, this is the taste, and this is what is its taste. Who is doing the Adhyavasayam? It is happening in the Hridaya, beyond the mind. That is what. That means what? Tasmat sarva karana vishaya vyaparakam ekam idam karanam sarva upalabdhi artham upalabdhu. Oh, Bapre. There is one upalabdhu inside. We will not call him as Jiva, we will call him as Paramatma. For that upalabdhu Paramatma, for his upalabdhi sake, obtaining one instrument only from the Hridaya through becoming the mind, then through becoming various senses, is getting the upalabdhi, obtainment of all the sense objects outer. That's what said here. Tasmat sarva karana vishaya vyapara kam ekam idam karanam. Only one karanam is the mana, which is doing all the vyaparas. Sarva upalabdhi artham, for the sake of obtaining of various things. Upalabdhu, for the upalabdha inside. And that must be the Atman, which we have to do upasana. So, beautiful thing there. What is what? What is finally happening in every of the perception? In every of the perception, finally happening is I am aware of it. Isn't it? Whether it is sukha or dukkha of the mind, whether it is smell good or bad, secondary. Finally, it's only the awareness which becomes aware of all these perceptions of the objects through the senses, through the vrittis of the mind. Then what, as a Vedantin, we have to understand is, therefore, all these faculties are functioning, bringing their perceptions for the sake of awareness. Supported by the awareness, for the sake of awareness, they are functioning. A little trickish, subtle thought. That awareness is therefore is an Atman or the self. It is not an ego like that a mere liye kaam ho raha hai, mere liye ho raha hai, but it is a pure consciousness for whose sake all of them are working. Trickish point. Try to catch it. Other way generally also, anything happens in our life, it is valued only when I am aware of it. If I am not aware, it has no value, whether it's small work or big work. Like in my company work, 2 crore रुपए का नुकसान हुआ. If it does not, it's not brought to my awareness. I am normal, I don't know at all. So too 2 crore का profit हुआ, but I am not aware of it. So that 2 crore profit has no meaning because I am not aware. Isn't it? Therefore, when we become aware only, then it has a meaning. अच्छा लक्ष्य नुकसान हो गया, then how to भरपूर कैसे करना, भरपाई, और प्रॉफिट हो गया, they're very good, where to invest. वो बात की बात, but awareness is first. Okay, what are the thoughts here? Therefore, awareness in the hridayam is becoming mana. Mana only becoming indriyas. Indriyas are perceiving the world. Therefore, why the perceptions of the world are there? For the sake of indriyas. For whom the indriyas are working? The mana. And what is the mana is expression of is this one for whom all of them are working, or that one awareness for whom it is working. देखो मन के भीतर awareness है, that is the self, to that this discussion took us to. So, Tatma Sarva Karana Vishaya Vyaparakam Ekamidam Karanam Sarvopalabdhi Artham Upalabdhu. उपलब्धा के लिए सारे उपलब्धियों के लिए एक ही कारण जिसका नाम मन है काम कर रहा है, जो हर एक इंद्रिय के जगह पे वो इंद्रिय बनकर उस परसेप्शन को लेकर. So I, pure consciousness, am aware of, let us say, a red color through my eyes, presented to me by my own expression called my own thought of the mind. So all these are only the karana vyapara. All of them are for the entertainment of that pure consciousness. वही मन बन रहा है, मन ही इंद्रिया बन रहा है, इंद्रिया जाकर शब्द स्पर्श का दर्शन कर, and that he is enjoying. And what from the shabda sparshas have come, they are also his own maya shakti. That is why they give the example of spider etc. कि वो अपने से बना हुआ उस झाले में वो खेलता रहता है, घूमता रहता है. So too, Paramatma's Leela is this universe where he projects this world out of himself only, and he only is getting entertained in that. This is the highest knowledge. From that standpoint, you and I as an ego individualities, separating with each other. All of them are only notions, unreal things. We are not Brahman. Then one without second Brahman alone we are. That is what the unanswerable point, how powerful that Maya and delusion is, that we maintain our individuality separate from the total and also from others, like a dream. In the dream, I am there, the world is there, the people are other than me, appear to be so real, all interactions, contacts, love and hatred, happiness and misery. यार क्या हंगामा होता है ना सपने में, होता है कि नहीं? Sometimes dreams are so active, so dynamic, with so many things happening. There will be wars happening, bombing happening. You only are throwing the bombs on someone and is dying. Somebody threw bomb at you and you ran away to Bombay. All that you get. Don't you get? Whatever the vasanas that they have to express. It can be a sports, or it can be a mela, or a jamela, or it can be shadi. है ना? जो पंडित जी होते हैं ना, जिनको हर दिन एक एक शादी कर, उनको ही विल हैव दैट थॉट्स ओनली. ये सत्यनारायण व्रत पूजा करने वाले को वही, द वन हु डज लॉट ऑफ यज्ञ हवन होम, ही विल डू दैट ओनली. ही विल हैव दोस सपना व्हिचएवर दे मे बी. है ना, सिनेमा में रहने वाले उनको वही सपने आते हैं. बिजनेस वाले, पॉलिटिशियन को क्या सपना आएगा? Like in Bangladesh, the whole opposition should withdraw so that I unanimously get elected. Very interesting elections in Bangladesh. There's no opposition. अब इसको वोट क्यों डाला है पता ही नहीं, रिजल्ट भी आ गया fifth time. But for India, she is favorable. The other fellows are Khattar Muslims. They again become like Pakistan. What do you do? International diplomacy we have to maintain. So terrible tsunami has come. If that is the days of tsunami and all, or the pandemic thing, and ambulances hooting and people are taken in them, some are dying on the way, so many bodies, no time for burning them and all, wholesale दफना रहे उनको जो देखते. But all of them are what? The conscious mind only, but the waking plane mind only. But at that time it doesn't appear. The waking mind is nothing but pure consciousness. But because of not becoming very deep in our meditation, in apprehending that pure consciousness, the real self, that all of these, which are coming from sustaining in going back to the self, appear to be so really realistic. This is what is very subtle, important Vedantic thought. That's why our Upanishad say, बाकी बात बाद में, सब साइड पे रख, पहले discover the self in you. Then you will know everything is that self only. Here, in the discussion, these people are doing that only. From the objects, they came to senses level. From the senses, they came to the mind level. They then say mind also. Objectified consciousness is mind. Subjectified mind is the pure consciousness. What is the objectified consciousness means? For whatever the reason, the imagination of sense of otherness is called as mind. What is the subjectification? Subjectification mind is tracing its own source. In its tracing of its source, it reaches to that place where there was never a mind. That is called subjectification of the objectified mind. This is meditation. Objectification of the subjective self through the mind is creation. Where very subtle sciences there are, very. To grasp these, to go into those deep meditations, we have to lot of upasana, lot of prarthana, lot of अध्ययन. We have to go on doing. We have just started. LKG में है हम. हाँ, कुछ जन्म LKG में होते हैं. Love and knowledge of God and Guru. LKG. तभी उनकी कृपा से होता रहेगा. Okay. यहाँ तक आए हम. Now to substantiate it, 2-3 quotations are given. 1 minute we take, not much. तथा च कौशीतकीनाम. In that Kaushitaki Brahmana Upanishad, what is it is Pragnaya Vacham Samaruhya Vacha Sarvani Namani Apnot. The Prajna moving in the vehicle of the Vani, it goes on speaking so many words. Now here Prajna is the pure consciousness expressing as the mind. Then it becomes the Vani. Then it is doing the Vyapara of lot of talking. So to Pragnaya Chakshuhu Samarohya Chakshusha Sarvani Rupani Apnoti. That pure self only through the Prajna called as the Mana, intermediate stage, then it becomes the next stage में चक्षु बनकर क्या कर रहा है सर्वाणि रूपाणि आपनोति. This is the one which is obtaining all the forms. So who is obtaining the forms of pure consciousness? Through whom the prajna. Here prajna is the mind. And what is the prajna doing? It is becoming various indriyas. If it has to gather the forms, it's becoming chakshurindriya. Sounds, it's becoming shrotrendriya, granendriya. If it has to smell, etc. So the objects, the senses, prajna named mind, and beyond it is that self who is experiencing all this. अवेयरनेस को टेम्पररली इंडिविजुअलिटी देना है कहने के लिए कि यही अवेयरनेस थ्रू द माइंड एंड सेंसेस वर्ल्ड को जान रहा है. Because finally all of them are presented to awareness. Also, if the awareness is not present, there is no meaning for the objects, the senses as well as the mind. ये बात थोड़ा गंभीर 3, 4, 5 times when you contemplate, it just clicks. There is a chance. Okay. What's further? Tomorrow we will see. We have not discussed it. All these Sangnyanam, Ajnanam, Medha, Manisha, what are all of them? That will be explained in 1, 2 words. All of them are the mental moods modifications. Even they also belong to the mind. Mind is nothing but objectified, pure conscious self. Therefore, these people slowly from the objects, through the senses, through the mind, through its emotions, they are tracing back to the self in the Hridaya as the self for identification. This, when 100 times done, then we become more familiar. Anything when it is repeatedly done, that the newness or the ambiguity or confusion goes away. Serving the people in the beginning new, but when you go on doing, you become habituated. Cheating the people, chori karna, in the beginning it is new, but somebody is regularly doing it, then he is a master. Satya bolna in the beginning new. Keep on speaking, then undoubtedly. झूठ बोलना याद शुरू में गड़बड़, बाद में only झूठ. That's a great thing Bhagavan gave. Anything when regularly practiced, it becomes thoroughly understood or mastered. Okay, let us see tomorrow. Om 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 Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramashibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Om Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Shubham.